Hi there guys, this is GadgetBoy313 and in this video I'm going to be doing something slightly different to normal. Since we are in a lockdown, I can't go out filming lifts, I can't go out filming trains, nor buses or any of the normal stuff that I normally film. So what I'm going to do in this video, and I do intend to do other styles of videos like this in the near future, during the lockdown anyway. In this particular video I'm going to talk about how I first got interested in lifts. So to start with, I'm going to go through, what got me started with lifts, why I'm interested in lifts, and what got me interested to start filming them for YouTube as well. And yeah, so first up we have the first lift which I first fell in love with, from childhood. I probably remember this from when I was about 4 years old, and these are the lifts in the glass lifts in the Cascade Shopping Centre here in Portsmouth. And yeah, I'm not too sure what brand they were. Back in the day I didn't even think of lift brands at all. Before I became properly interested in lifts as I am now. I think they may have been Schindler's, purely because, from memory, it looked like they had an M series indicator. However, it's hard to tell since the buttons were Dewhurst, the square Dewhurst. The lifts had very nice, as well. They had very nice mirrored doors. I remember, yeah, and basically the glass lifts were in this atrium, which is where you had the food court in the where you've got like TK Maxx and that now. This is where the Thyssen Court lifts now sit. Opposite that would have been a much more open atrium, with a basement food court, which I miss a lot. I really do. And the glass lifts would have gone straight down into them. If you've been to the Peacock Shopping Centre in Woking, basically it's a similar layout there actually with the glass lifts. So yeah, that's one of my most memorable lifts I've ever been in. Those one in Cascade Shopping Centre, right here actually in Portsmouth. Long before I even moved here, living in Bognor at the time. Obviously, in addition to the glass lifts, about the glass lifts, I'll keep going with that. They served all the car park floors, except what they did, because there's the whole atrium is like balconies all the way up. Because if you're on the first floor now, the first floor is now actually been covered over by a car park. But if you look up, you can see part of the original atrium from the first floor car park and all of its original balconies. You would have seen that from the food court previously, as well as what the ground floor looked like at the time. That would have been one of the balconies. Boy, do I miss that. And yeah, the ramps that they got in there are new. That's for disabled access between the odd floors and even floors of the car park for the lifts that are currently now in the former atrium at Cascades. Yeah, so the glass lifts would have actually started at lower ground for the food court, ground floor for the main shopping centre, and then it was 1/2 because it served car park floors 1 and 2 first, on one balcony. What you do, you go either left or right out the lifts, and then so say if you went right out the lift, right, you could turn left for level 1 and then right for level 2 on the balcony. And then you had floors 3 and 4, 5 and 6. So yeah, so I remember actually when they started taking out those lifts. I was there in about 2006 when I went to go and use the lift with my grandparents to notice that they started demolishing the food court, and that the glass lifts had clearly gone. The actual cars had gone, but like the not really a shaft of glass lift, but like the frame that it goes up, that was still standing back then. By then, as well as the Schindler lift, the what possibly Schindler lifts, there was also some Otis Lexan lifts, which are big 60s ones. They're the ones that have got the flat black button, so not the ones that stick out like a mushroom. The more one that's behind like a metal ring, it's black behind. You know what I mean? There would be some where the ThyssenKrupp lifts are now, the right hand set though, and also some where that used to serve the odd floors, and you can actually see where the old lift lobby on floors 1 and 3 of the car parks now, which is like sort of like a black wooden framed sort of that area, like black wooden framed doors of glass, and also like the whole surrounding area is the same. Yeah, that's where they used to be, the old Otises. Yeah, I remember they were quite noisy, those ones actually. Yeah. Additionally, that the odd floor ones, the odd floor car park ones, actually additionally served lower ground as well as the shopping centre level. Whereas the current, no, the oh come on, yeah, the Evans Otises would have just served the ground floor only. And when you stepped out of them, you would have we would have had the old food court right in front of you. Also, additionally, BHS used to go down to the lower ground as well. And they used to have some generic Conne lifts in there. Where one of them actually extended up to JJB Sports. Yeah, but obviously by 2006 that all changed. With the old glass lifts gone, the food court gone, the odd car park lifts gone, BHS refurbished, losing the lower ground floor part of the shop, just having ground and first floor, having an eco disc installed to replace the two old Connes, and no longer having access to JJB Sports. Which so instead for disabled access, Cascade installed a ThyssenKrupp lift by the JJB Sports main entrance. Obviously now JJB Sports has gone to administration, and currently the occupant there is a restaurant called Spoons now, not Wetherspoons, not to be confused with Wetherspoons. Nah, Spoons or World Foods is up there now where JJB Sports used to be. Anyway, I'm going on about this a bit too much. So yeah, so that was my first ever most memorable lift ever, the Cascade glass lifts. Ah, man, I missed them. But there you go. Well, one thing I did forget to mention is that the Evans Otises got replaced with ThyssenKrupp Univers lifts, aka ThyssenKrupp Mark 1s. And the right hand set, which used to be the Otises, the left hand set is actually brand new altogether in 2006. Yeah. I did actually get stuck in one of the ThyssenKrupp lift once, actually. It the safety broke it safety braked itself, it did, part of the way down. So, don't know why. But I think it might be going a bit too fast, you know. That was in early days, but it's a ThyssenKrupp for you, isn't it, eh? Not saying nothing bad about ThyssenKrupp, but yeah, I'm not a fan of ThyssenKrupp list myself, in my opinion, anyway. So yeah, so that's that one. So the main thing that actually got me interested into lifts in general, not just the ones that cascades, is the fact that you could operate the lift yourself. So as you know, you would have to press a button to call it, to get a lift to come to you, enter the lift, and then press the floor you want. That I just love. Yeah, I just love operating machinery. Sorry for the bad camera movements there. Yeah, I just love operating machinery, and then lifts. You can do that. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. And now I just fell in love with it. It's just simple as that. Same with modern day trains, where you have to press the button to open the doors. That I fell in love with, Yeah, it wouldn't be the same if the guard operated all the doors, You didn't have to do anything, Or the driver operates them, And I love the fact you can just press a button to open the doors yourself. It's awesome, And when I was a kid, I keep saying don't I? When I was a kid, up until probably about when I was 15, I think okay, if I say again, I'm going to kill myself in a minute. And yeah, so if someone beat me to the button, right? Yeah. Oh, I'd be furious. I would. That was the one thing I loved about lifts It's pushing the button. If someone did it for me, before me, like a split second before me, frustrated. I've got more control over that now. I will admit I still get a little bit frustrated now, but not as much, since becoming a bit more of an adult now. I'm a little bit more sensible, that sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah, so that's definitely got me interested. One thing that definitely got me interested in lifts. Before I even knew about any lift brands and models, they were just lifts to me. So, yeah, so what are we going to talk about next? So, obviously, the next thing you're probably going to want to wonder is how I started getting properly interested into them in terms of like knowing brands and different models and all the different like workings of the lifts, like logic controllers and all that technical stuff. YouTube. That's what got me started on that. With a man called Benno. And the first video I saw was tour of the lifts at the Bental Shopping Centre in Kingston upon Thames. Which is the one where he got caught by the security guard for filming, mate, and forced him to delete his videos. It was that video. Yes, that was the first video I saw from Benno. So I literally saw a suggestion for a tour of the lifts. I thought I'd click on it, and I very much enjoyed it. So then I went on to do tour of the lifts at Canary Wharf. That's the next video, and from that point I just kept on watching his videos and just fell in love with them. I said again, didn't I? Yeah. So what that then did, I actually then started want to get my teeth back in again. The next channel I actually came across with this was the Alex Ellis channel. He's British, but he lives in New Zealand now. He has been living there over a long time. And yeah, so I started watching his channel where he did individual lift videos, a bit not anyway like Benno style, but he did in his style. He did lift tours. He did it's just individual videos of lifts, and I really liked his style. I really loved the way he does his voiceovers and things like that, and just the way he does his video and the way he runs the channel. It's just I really like it. Even though I know nothing about New Zealand at all, I just love his channel. It's great. As well as that, he does also do buses and level crossings, and also one of my more recent interests is sirens. Becoming interested from Broadmoor sirens because of Mr. Che, where Alex Hedderton got inspired from doing from that for his great Wellington siren hunt with all the different sirens call out sirens at fire stations in New Zealand. But yeah, I'm a little bit off topic now, aren't I? Yeah, so that's what actually inspired me eventually to after Alex Ellis. That's what inspired me to start a channel. So about spring 2013 is when I thought, sod it, you know what, I'll make it in a channel. I'd always actually thought of the name Gadgeboy313 because I actually started doing videos before I even came onto YouTube. Since about 2009 when I covering the camera there. When I started watching YouTube videos. The first YouTube video I actually saw was fainting goats, where literally goats like faint, like to sort of like protect themselves, to sort of like play dead. Look it up, see what I mean. And then I went into looking like at cat videos, which obviously at the moment are they're the most one of the most viral videos on the whole of YouTube at the moment. Yeah. And then I went into like the New York subway videos, and then it sort of expanded on from there. So that's how I got progress to YouTube. Now I'm absolutely obsessed with the damn thing. I'm on it every day. It's a little bit obsessive now. I will admit, I have to try and have a break from it now and then, especially since I've got a phone or tablet to watch them on. I'm on it near like every day for like 6, like not 6 hours in one go, but I mean like in total 6 hours a day of YouTube. It's too good. I just can't help it. It's just too good. Yeah. So that's what got me started on YouTube for doing lift videos. Yeah. So what else we got down here then? Yep. So just looking at my list. One of the things that's also got sort of like I don't really know how to describe it, but my Asperger's syndrome has actually definitely something to do with my interest in lifts. It helps me to remember like brands and like various things like that off of YouTube. It's just second nature. I could I would admit I'm not as genius as recognising lifts as I am trains. Trains I just know by a second. That's second nature to me. Honestly, if you ask me to write every single train number down from 43 to 802, I know every number in between. Honestly, I do. Yeah, that's good old Asperger's syndrome. Helping out with that, and yeah, so that's the main bit really. That's why I interested in lifts, and I'm filming this on the 1st of June, 2020, when we were in a lockdown, and I can't really get to them. Getting lifts at the moment, so it's really frustrated. I haven't been in lifts for 2 months, which is very rare for me, and I hate it. I hate this lockdown. But it is for our own good, obviously. It's to protect us from the coronavirus. So you do have to remember that, and I respect that greatly. So, yeah, so that's about it, really. A few other things I mentioned. It's a few other lifts that that I quite like, over my lifetime. Some of my best lifts ever. One lift that I remember the best is actually when I went to New York in 2010 for my birthday. I didn't actually do any videos there. I wish I did. But I didn't bring my iPod with me to film on, so that's probably why I didn't. Yeah, I went on loads of lifts at New York. That was kind of the whole part of the idea, to go on a holiday, to go in lifts, but also to check out the city. I'm a city person. That's why I live in Portsmouth. I love cities. Um, and also, of course, to go on things like the subway, as well as, of course, various different sightseeing as well. Went to Coney Island, went in Central Park, went on a boat, went round, did a tour around the outside of Staten Island. Yeah, really smashing all day in New York. I want to return again. I really do. 10 years ago that was almost now. Um, so yeah, about New York. It's one of my most favourite elevators there of all time, because in America we call them elevators, not lifts. Which is in the Rockefeller Center, which has the top of the rock viewing deck, uh, as the name suggests, on top of the Rockefeller Center. So, yeah, obviously, the first lifts you go into are the ones to take you from the entrance up to the security level, where you've also got a pre-show before you go into, before you then go on to the next set of lifts, which are your main high-speed lifts. I think it takes you to floor 76, which is where the viewing deck is. It's actually 3 different viewing decks, but like the Shard in London. Yeah, and those are the lifts that I'm mostly interested in. They're Schindlers, which when you step in them, it's a normal lift. It has got normal lights above you, but the doors then close and the lights then go out, and you're revealed down with a glass ceiling, and you can see up the shaft, and they've got all lights up the side of the shaft, and there's projections on the glass roof all of a sudden. I thought that was cool. You can see yourself going up the lift, um, going up the shaft. That's the first ever lift I've been in like that before, especially a high speed lift. So I thought that was really, really good. I'm really impressed in the way they themed that. It's absolutely smashing. And what's interesting of those lifts, which I've never seen actually in the UK before, but I have seen in America twice, including in the Empire State Building at the other time, is that lift's actually controlled externally. There's no one in the lift car with you taking it up. It's actually instead actually 2 buttons outside, which there's an operator there which actually controls which floors the lifts go to. You see, so yeah, that's how they're controlled. So that's one of my most favourite lifts of all time. Now, believe it or not, before I even got interested in this, apparently I was a baby, I actually used to be terrified of them. And one of them, that I've been told about by my mum, I don't even remember being terrified of lifts for the life of me. One of the ones I was most terrified about was the lift in Boots here in Portsmouth, which used to be a generic Conne with nice carpeted walls I really missed that lift there. I didn't really go on it that much actually. It's been replaced. Not sure if it was a replacement or refurbishment. It's now been refurbished by generic, and it's now got Leicester controls. Yeah, it's not as good anymore, unfortunately. But but yeah, obviously there's a good valid reason why they've done that. So there's nothing bad really if you figure out it. Yeah. But yeah, apparently I used to go crazy when I was in that lift and I was in my buggy. So yeah, I think I'm going to wrap this video up now. So I really enjoyed actually talking about my hobby of lifts, how I got interested and why I film on YouTube in front of you guys. You know, just sharing a part of me, you know, and get a little bit of interesting content out for you guys out, you know, on YouTube during this lockdown period. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I do intend to actually continue this series. I'm going to try and make it like a weekly thing for the first time on my channel. I'm actually doing like a weekly series just for now. It's only temporary. So if only I thought of this, earlier in the pandemic, this would have been good actually. So yeah, so that's it for me. Everyone, please do stay safe and stay alert during this pandemic, and I will see you guys again soon. Take care. Goodbye.